sponsor for this hour is, I really hope that if you have a chance, you go and check out my sponsors. I mean, these are people who are putting it all out there. They are sponsoring the most conservative show in town, and somebody who believes in the conservative viewpoint, who acts that way, and their businesses I represent, and I do so proudly. I want to tell you about the one for this hour, A&A the shop. If you have a Subaru, just do the following. Call these guys up, $30 oil change, okay? That's like a couple of Big Macs, okay? That's all that is. 4617 Old Seward Highway, A&A the shop. Their number 562-3919. I just got an alternator replaced. I had my towing company came out. My Subaru died on the road, and as my daughter was driving, so we came and saved it, and they put an alternator in today. I have such confidence in these guys. They do great work. They actually have a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty, not just for parts and labor. They will pay for the labor, because what they told their employees was, look, if you didn't put the part in right and it comes back and has a problem, that's on you. You know what happened? The return rate went to zero. Exactly what you would expect. These are good conservative people. If you have a Subaru, definitely go and check out A&A the shop, 4617 Old Seward Highway, 562-3919. All right, Stephen Merrill in studio with me, and we have a phone call. Can I take the phone call, and then we'll get to, all right.
I do want to talk about, calling your client to the stand.
Make sure to put that mic right in your face. Jack, thanks so much for holding. I appreciate that. Welcome to KBYR.
Hey, thanks a lot. About this, one quick point is, you threaten somebody might not be against the law, but if you threaten somebody and happen to have an arsenal in your house, it might be a little different. But the main point I had was about the prosecution's witness, the record, his criminal record. The prosecution's main witness, the undercover guy.
Right. He was
criminal.
His name is I forgot his name, but he was a cocaine dealer. He would pick up cocaine in Canada and bring it across the Alaska border. And probably his most criminal act was being in the septic field business and telling this older couple he's going to replace their field. What's he do? He digs up their yard and puts in junk car parts. In fact, entire cars in there. And then he puts up a lid from the ground that makes it look like there is a new system there. Total fraud. I don't know how he thought he could get away with it. And that's one of the charges he had dismissed in order to do this business for
the FBI. They
dismissed
that charge where he ripped off and ruined some elderly couple's house in order to get his testimony here.
And that's what I wonder about in a lot of these cases. Like if they could bring in somebody who has a real big giant dog in the fight. He has a whole bunch to gain. And I often wonder about some of these witnesses like that. And the whole case can't just hinge on him if his character is a little suspect, can it?
Yeah, of course, the prosecution has the burden of proof to prove all charges beyond a reasonable doubt, and they've got a weak case here. But from what I've seen from the defense case, they're not helping themselves at all, and indeed some ways hurting themselves. When Cox was testifying the first day, it's all about politics, and asking him questions like he's some kind of grand philosopher. When is it all right to attack the government? Just talking about their uniforms and their ranks and all this. If I was trying this case, I would not even mention a firearm unless I absolutely had to. I'd have my clients saying, this was all craziness. There really was no militia. We didn't even train. There's only really a handful of us. I thought I was this historical figure, and now I've ruined my family. I got these other gentlemen locked up, facing life in prison like I am. If he put on that testimony today, he'd probably be walking out of that courthouse with the jurors.
They didn't think he would, though. I don't think the prosecution...
I think they were counting on exactly this. Indeed, They held back a lot of their incriminating stuff to play it for the jury on cross-examination, which in a couple instances proved he was simply not telling the truth.
Jack, if you were on the jury, though, and they had a cocaine dealer come up and testify against the witness, and other people who essentially were planting ideas into your head and trying to make you paranoid, would that make a difference in your jury deliberation?
Well, I would look, try it. You know, I've read a lot about a lot of cases all around the country, and I see more and more circumstantial evidence. You know, as you just have enough circumstantial evidence. And I remember one guy got off on a murder somewhere because he said it was a really horrific crime, and they tried to say he was crazy. And then afterwards, the reason the jury let him off, the one lady says, "Well, a crime like that, he must have been crazy."
What?
And I thought,
unbelievable.
I actually saw that on the news, and I wonder that you know, I have friends that say so, you know, but I grew up in the '60s. I mean, come on, I've had friends say a lot of things over the years.
Yeah.
And people, you can talk and stuff, but you actually, you know, you actually should have to have some proof. And if I was on a jury, I would, you know, talk is cheap, but just talk without anything to back it up. It's just talk, and it can't be used. It shouldn't be used as proof.
Hey, Jack, I appreciate it. You keep coming back to this. They didn't say we're going to take out this person at this time. We're going to use this firearm. Here's our attack plan.
In fact, it was all contingent to begin with, so they can't answer when, if, how, where, any of those questions. How can you have a conspiracy when none of those questions are answered?
Is circumstantial the right word? That's the word Jack used. Is it circumstantial evidence that this is, or is this like some conditional evidence, which it's I didn't even know how conditional evidence is evidence.
No, these are statements, so it's not circumstantial evidence.
Okay, so there's direct testimony from the witnesses, but I mean they weren't solid, real threats.
Well, to me, if you don't have a victim, a time, or a place, or even if you're going to do it. And also, there's the argument the defense might put out there that we were only going to do it in the case we were attacked mercilessly by the government. Anybody can defend themselves in that situation.
And most people would probably say exactly the same thing. You know,
where he came up with the idea that there's hit squads against him. This whole trial is me. I mean, the jury was full of Schaefer Cox before he took the witness stand, and for 2 days now they've been hearing the same stuff. It's
what are they hearing?
He made him listen to an hour and 40-minute speech from Montana.
Is where... Now, are they getting the sense this kid is just a fool? Is that what they're getting the sense of?
I don't know if they're... Certainly anybody would conclude that. I'm worried that they're concluding that he is dangerous and a bit way off the beaten trail.
Okay.
That he is dangerous because he still wants to repeat these semi-threats. He's into these semi-threats. I don't think he's ever going to stop saying them.
So he gets on the stand. What in his mind? What's his goal? What is he trying to do? Is this his spotlight?
I think he's trying to. He thinks that he's on the Jimmy Kimmel show, like Barack Obama being interviewed, and his popularity is what's at issue here.
Is this because
he's looking at that jury, trying to talk with him, using his hands all the time, trying to be persuasive with them, and they won't hardly look at him.
Oh, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. Is it because they don't want to be swayed by the